Hey YouTube, Do-It-Yourself Junkie 369 here, and today I'm going to review this Sailrite sewing machine. And this is more the style that I would get if I wanted a higher end do-it-yourself machine, mainly because it comes in this wood box that locks closed, and you can take it and store it somewhere. This table it's sitting in is actually available as a separate purchase, and what it does is it has a recessed area here that the bottom half of the box sits inside, and that gets the tray of the machine level with the table. You don't absolutely need it. You can stick this on a tabletop just as the same way I use the Genome. So I'll get this thing set up and we'll run some fabric through it and see how it does. It's pretty much all metal construction, just like the console that I reviewed. It's got a few differences from the other machines. One is the lever to raise the presser foot is on top here. It has a lever here for left, center, or right, and that is your needle position, which is in that fabric, so I shouldn't be messing with that. There we go. And basically what that does is it lets you get up closer to whatever this presser foot's running along. And it has the same style of walking presser foot that the console has. So it has feed dogs down here, and then this presser foot is two pieces, and one or the other is always engaged in the fabric, and the needle goes down and walks back, raises, comes forward, goes down. So same motion that's used on the console. And then a little bit different from the rest, this lever right here determines your stitch length, but it's also your reverse lever. So here's set for maximum length of whatever I was stitching at last, and then pull it down, that's reverse at that same length. And then here in the middle, it's just sitting there throwing thread through the material without advancing the material any. So be more like a bar tack style stitch. And then up here, this 0 through 5 determines zigzag. So this machine, the console can only do a straight stitch. This machine can do a zigzag. And here you can see, like, that's almost a bar tack. It's a real small zigzag with almost no stitch length. And this is the LSZ-1, just in case you're wondering what the model is. I know some aftermarket stuff that's available for it is there's a heavy duty flywheel, a real heavy flywheel, and basically that's good if you don't have power running to the machine. You can stitch by hand, and that heavy duty flywheel, once you start getting it moving, it has some inertia to it, so it'll keep stitching and make it easy. These are designed basically for stitching sails or canvas, and so they have options to basically run or be able to do a small repair without electricity. And also very portable. You just fold everything in, put the lid on, lock the lid down, and then carry it wherever you need to. And that also makes it very easy to storage, which was one of the cons that I hated about the console. As far as material, this should handle anything that you can feed through the console, plus some. This can take even larger needles than the console. I can't remember what size they'll go up to, but I know the console topped out at 3/4. This will go even heavier on the thread than that. So really, really capable machine. About the only con I can think of is price. Other than that, all metal construction, tips up just like the console does, so you can get to the bobbin holder down there, and this one uses the same bobbin holder and bobbins that fit in the Genome. So I'll get some material and we'll do some stitching with this machine. And I suspect it'll go through whatever the console was able to handle, no problem. Okay, so this machine uses a similar cord and pedal setup to the Genome. So it plugs a cord in and you have a pedal on the floor that you can pretty much position wherever you want it, unlike the console, which is attached to the table. And that also means there's no programmable motor, so the more you press on the pedal, the faster it's going to stitch. Which, there's kind of a pro to using either style. I think I might like this style just a little bit better, because you can go slow on the corners and delicate areas, but then just floor it when you get a long straight line to go, stitch down. And as you can tell, not even close to being as fast as that console was. That was its maximum speed. But this is more built for extreme heavy duty versus all out speed and commercial production. So this is 8 layers, just like the console. We'll go ahead and get the needle started, and I suspect it'll stitch down this no trouble. No problem. And just to see how it acts, put the needle just touching the fabric, and let's see if it punches through that or if it'll bog the motor down like it does on the console. Nope, no problem. So at least at 8 layers, it doesn't need any sort of inertia to push through there because of the difference in the motor. Let's go ahead. I'm so used to reaching back here for the presser foot lifter. It appears that the presser foot lifts up a little bit less, but I do think there is a way to adjust this higher, because this is not the max travel for this presser foot. There's a groove down here, and it's got like another 1/4 of an inch that it could possibly go up. It's just that I don't know how to adjust it. So, okay, there we go. So we'll go ahead and do 16 layers, just like we did with the console. And on this, I've just put the needle on the fabric. So this is the hardest position to start from. We'll see if it makes it through. Nope. Now if I start the needle, it should theoretically stitch this. Yep. Unfortunately, I broke my thread. But the needle's going through there, which means it would be stitching this if the thread hadn't broken. So, can't force the needle through 16 layers when it's just resting on top of the fabric, but once you start the needle, so it has that full rotation basically to build up inertia, then it has no trouble getting through there. And because I don't know how to adjust the height of that presser foot, we're kind of stuck only testing 16 layers. Due to the fact that it's able to sew heavier canvas materials and use a much larger needle and thread, I'm guessing that it would be able to make it through a few more layers than just 16, as long as I let it have that inertia to start. thread here somewhat quickly, and then I'll go ahead and stick some 1-inch webbing through here, which I'm thinking I'm going to have trouble doing the 8 layers just because of how low the presser foot is set. Right now I can't even get the thread through the needle, out of the needle. Not sure what's going on. Usually I don't have this much trouble. There we go. So that's out of the way. We'll start with 4 layers of webbing, which will be, quite honestly, I already know this won't be any trouble for this machine. We'll go ahead and start just touching the fabric and see if it can push through. Of course it can. And let's go ahead and do a little zigzag just to show you what it looks like. That's the max. Fold this webbing over and see if I can't fit 8 layers under there. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it, but who knows. Nope, it's not going to fit, and that's more of my own limitation rather than the machine. I just don't know how to adjust this up any higher. It's not my machine, so I don't have the instruction manual for it. But so pros, heavy duty, all metal construction. There's a little bit more plastic than the Consew, but not nearly as much as the Genome. So you got the plastic flywheel here, which you can replace with a all metal one that's really heavy, and that has that inertia to really punch through some material. This stitch selector piece here is plastic, but it's just a guide and a stop, so that really doesn't matter. The bobbin winder is the same style that you find on the Genome, but there is no disconnect for the needle bar like the Genome has. So when you're feeding a bobbin, this is going to be moving. So that's a con there. Price is a con. Pro though, it's portable. You can hide it away somewhere where it's not in your way and bring it out and put it on a tabletop and sew something when you need to sew something. So this is probably, unless you guys know of something better out there, this is probably top of the line machine for sewing if you want something portable. And it has the left, right, and center option for the needle position and the zigzag, which the Consew doesn't. This stitch selector takes a little bit of getting used to and some time to set up to get it to stitch evenly forward and backwards and to put down the size stitches that you want. So if you're looking for a great commercial machine that you don't want set up all the time, so something that can store away or be portable, definitely go with this one. And as usual, there's a link down in this description. This one, I think, to me personally, I view this as even better than the Consew. Increased fabric and thread capacity because of the larger needles that you're able to put in it. Zigzag function and the ability to set it up on a tabletop and sew without needing to buy a special table. And just in case you want this table, I'll include a link for it as well. But so in my mind, this is better than the Consew. And both the Consew and this are better than the Genome. Oh, another con. this doesn't have the floating arm either. So if you want something for like clothing repair, you're pretty much going to have to go with a home style machine, not one of these commercial jobs. And for that, I recommend the Genome. If you want something cheap, I would go with the Genome. If you want to do heavy duty, you can get by with the Genome. And later, when I finally buy my 3000 HD, I'll do a review on it, and I have a feeling it'll kind of close the gap between these commercial expensive machines and the home machine, the Genome. It'll be kind of an in-between. I think it'll have the increased capacity, not quite as high as this one does, but it'll still keep some of the home machine features like the floating arm, which allows you to do repairs. And it'll be about the fifth of the cost of one of these commercial machines. So hope you liked the video. Hit the like button, subscribe, check out the links for this machine if you're interested, and check out some of my do-it-yourself sewing videos if you're just getting into sewing. Thanks for watching.